Growing up, did you not like pink or wearing dresses or listening to Taylor Swift? But when you realize it was your internalized misogyny talking, you now realize that all you want to actually do in life is to run barefoot in a castle wearing a pink, fluffy, ball gown, silky dress while listening to Taylor Swift's love story, aka me. Well, this podcast is for you, me, and everyone else who doesn't have a clue on how to live this human life on this confusing planet. I'm Chez, your host for the How Do You Even Human podcast, available on YouTube and everywhere you can get your podcasts. So, today we're going to talk about gender, specifically feminism, specifically femininity, and more specifically, how to embrace femininity, your femininity, in an anti-feminine world. But before we get into that, let's discuss first what is femininity or what is masculinity and how did these concepts go about. So there's still a debate whether femininity or masculinity are affected by social versus biological forces. I think it's a little bit of both, because we can't deny that men and women have different hormones affecting our personality, our moods, all of that stuff. But I think it's definitely more social because, even if throughout history we've imposed gender roles and traits to men or women, we still see a lot of feminine men or masculine women. So, yeah, it's both affected by biological and societal forces, more so on the social forces. However, it being purely a social construct is it's very Western. Because in Eastern cultures, they say that femininity is inherent in a woman's energy and masculinity is very inherent in a man's energy. So I try to merge the two concepts. So what really is femininity or masculinity? So what I've personally concluded is that femininity or masculinity has nothing to do with the gender or sex you were assigned at birth. I think that everyone has femininity and masculinity in them. Like it's biologically originally like them within them, because men and women are more alike than they are different. This has been proven by many studies already, and I've discovered that femininity and masculinity, our concept of it now, is just a set of traits. It's nothing to do with being a man or a woman at birth, because there are still, as I said, feminine men or masculine women. However, our notion of it now is very Western. Thus, it is very patriarchal. So, sadly, we see femininity as a weakness. We've devalued it. We've stigmatized it. When in reality, femininity is about strength. It's about expression, collaboration, compassion, warmth, vulnerability, a really good set of traits that everyone should have. If we have more of these traits, this femininity in the world, then the world would be such a better place for both men and women. So, the first step on how to embrace femininity, your femininity, is to really remove your internalized misogyny. That's for women. So if you're a man, just remove your misogyny altogether. So what is internalized misogyny? It's when women subconsciously project sexist ideas onto other women and even onto themselves. So this is very common with mother-daughter relationships when a mom tells her daughter, hey, wash the dishes, do these chores, or cover up for that creepy uncle, or all of that stuff. And mainly on the chores, because it's a woman's job. It's these social forces. And another is mainstream media. We've had this concept of the pick me girl, or the girly girl slash dumb blonde, or the cool girl that all the men like, or the bitter feminist that no men like, or the your name or YN who's not like other girls or whatever, or the with men the effeminate man being automatically gay for some reason. So it's the societal forces like this that created the notion of femininity as a weakness and masculinity as strength. It's these societal forces that we see that femininity is something to be ashamed of, that people don't like. That's why movies like Legally Blonde, Gone Girl, Clueless, Malena, I love that movie by the way, and Jennifer's Body were so groundbreaking because they said that femininity is strength. There's a powerful female feminine protagonist who won't back down to any patriarchal whatever, okay? And I just don't like it that as middle school kids back then, we thought that, not wearing dresses, or not liking pink and liking sports instead, and liking comic books and Avengers instead, or liking boy stuff, eating pizza or whatever, were the cool stuff. And we were forced to suppress our feminine likes and hobbies, that when we see a powerful feminine woman, we see them, oh, okay, she's just getting attention. And that comes from a place of jealousy and insecurity and suppression of femininity. So, liking pink, liking fashion, liking makeup, being even wanting to be a homemaker or housewife is nothing to be ashamed of. Okay? Especially if it's your choice. Okay? Feminism is about women having a choice. Whether they want to be a big businessman or a housewife, that's their choice, okay? And so the less we sexualize feminine women at like Megan Fox, who's a really intelligent and eloquent feminist woman, and the less we see them as, supporters of the patriarchal system, as what the fake feminists say, and the more we see them as symbols of empowerment, then the world will just be more embracing of femininity. Just remove the barrier of internalized misogyny, or just pure misogyny, so you can fully embrace femininity in your life. Number 2, dare to be expressive and creative. Let's talk about people who like fashion, who like expressing themselves through makeup, cooking, external self-care like skincare and spas, dancing, or dancing ballet or ballroom and all of that stuff, the arts, aka, typically feminine hobbies and skills. Like when we see women do it, they're just like, oh, she's just getting attention from boys. Or when men do it, we also see that, oh, he's just doing it for so that women notice him, or that's gay, or the common thing now, or that's sus, or whatever. And these are normal stuff that people should do, because expression is very much a human thing that everyone should do. And the way to accept these expressions in society, this femininity is to just normalize them. And start with yourself. If you like fashion, if you like makeup, whether you're a man or a woman, do it. As long as it's your choice. If you want to embrace your femininity, then do it. And encourage people to choose what makes them happy, you know? F what other people say. Start with yourself, normalizing expression and creativity. Number 3, learn to be vulnerable. Yes, as a society, as a patriarchal society, we have been told that men or even women should hide their emotions because emotions are a weakness and it won't get them ahead. And this contributed to a lot of mental health problems in the world, and Gen Z is just getting all that mental health problems because of the suppression of emotions and the beauty of being vulnerable. When we are vulnerable, we have better relationships with others and we become better ourselves. Vulnerability is such a great thing because you release the tension that you've been keeping inside of you. Be willing to expose your feelings and also to set boundaries for yourself. Femininity is about being compassionate and being vulnerable. Hugging your homies ain't sus, guys. It's basic human affection that everyone needs right now. But still follow social distancing guidelines, okay? We're still currently in a pandemic. Number 4, sorry, I can't do math. Stop talking and start listening. Don't let your ego get in the way. Ego is such masculine thing. Okay, remember that when I talk about masculinity and femininity, it's a set of traits, not something that men do or women do. Okay, so don't let your ego get in the way. And in this world, we should have more discussions than debates, even though debates are so fun. I love being in them, just the tension. But, have more discussions, listen to more people. This is why aspects of our politics don't work, because there's so much toxic masculinity and talking over each other. And this I have to win concept that's so prevalent in politics. So whether it's in the workplace, school, family, friends, relationships, the more we listen, the more we'll want to work together. And because the problem is now is that we're just forced to work together and just okay, fine, and we just hate it because we're forced to do it, especially if we have different values or beliefs or way of life from those people. But when we actually start listening to them, when we actually start to understand what they say, then we'll actually want to work with them. And there is no shame in silence. We don't always have to talk. Listening, silence is a beautiful thing. It's that it offers that sense of solidarity. Okay? That's why I think in schools, besides teaching public speaking and communication skills, and this is coming from a communication major, okay? Schools should teach more listening skills because there's too much mansplaining and egotistical politicians and toxic masculinity in this world, guys. Okay, number 5, second to the last. Don't compete and don't be afraid to ask for help. Competition and individualism is, generally associated with masculinity. This I have to win concept, let me reiterate that. And this I have to win, this individuals have to win, succeed, be in a competition is why so much organizations and even relationships fail. Me. So instead of saying I have to win, just instead say we have to succeed together. There's still that sense of, accomplishment, but now everyone is in it and we're not bringing each other down. We're actually working together for a common goal that's actually good for everyone. And um I and many of my friends say that I have a masculine work ethic. I have a generally like balanced feminine and masculine personality. I like expressing myself and all of that stuff. However, my work ethic is very masculine. Like I always want to be alone and I always think of everything as a competition, and my one of my main personality traits is being a perfectionist, and I just have to win at everything. Even if it's, if I lose some friends along the way, it's just so bad. Why am I sharing this? It's okay because, I have that I have to win concept. I have to win against others concept. It's very much in me. So when I realized and when people told me to actually start listening to other people more and start getting other people's insights about work and um about my life and just listening generally to people and applying more teamwork and collaboration in my life, it opened my eyes to just a better life, a better way of living, a better way of working, and a just less stressful work, honestly, and even more beautiful outputs. So yeah, don't compete and don't be afraid to ask for help. It definitely worked for me a lot. And there's beauty in asking for help and asking for suggestions, cause you're not, surprise surprise, you're not the superior most knowledgeable person in the world. No one is perfect, even as cliche as it is. No one really is. So if you're a very masculine type of worker or just generally a masculine type of person, then once again, don't be afraid to listen for suggestions and don't be afraid to work with people because there's so much beauty in that. And the last one, which is personally my favorite, it made me appreciate life more. And it's instead of getting something out of life, experience it. There was this one TED talk where she said that femininity is very experience oriented and masculinity is very results or goal oriented, which is my way of looking at things before. And even now, like recently, I'm very goal oriented. I'm still evaluating that in my life. So how we can put this into example is that, when we're drinking coffee, um, consuming it for the adrenaline, the caffeine rush, that's a very masculine way of drinking coffee. But consuming it for the taste, the aroma, the experience of being in a coffee shop and that atmosphere, that's a very feminine way of consuming coffee. And that's how we can concretize femininity, the how femininity and masculinity, the notion of it has developed throughout the years, particularly in a Western way. And, in this world, generally, in this very anti feminine, masculine world, everything we do is always for an end goal for some reason. If it's a career, prospect, it's always to get ahead and to get more money and to get more power. If it's for a hobby or a skill, it's always to master it and use it for some higher purpose. Or if it's in a relationship, particularly a romantic relationship, it's always for, marriage or family. And the way to actually appreciate life is just to enjoy life. Enjoy life by actually enjoying life, appreciating the little moments, whether it's gonna turn into something big or not. Just doing it for the sake of it and enjoying it. You'll appreciate your life more, and just be who you want to be. Don't stop asking for other people's approval, specifically men's approval. This is the exact reason why femininity has been suppressed, because if women are masculine, they'll get the men's approval to actually get ahead in work and life. But no, just be a strong feminine woman and enjoy life, experience life, and do everything. Do it for yourself. Do life for yourself, okay? Express whatever you want to express. Feel your emotions. Be vulnerable. Showcase your creativity. And dare to be feminine. Because it's in you already. Okay? Let's dismantle the patriarchy, guys. What a big statement. So the bottom line is that whether you're a man or a woman, embrace your femininity. For it is in you already. It is your beauty and your strength. And dismantle the patriarchy. This is the How Do You Even Human podcast. I really enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching or listening. What's the next thing that I'll say? I completely forgot my spiel. Oh yeah, thank you for watching or listening, and we will be chatting again in the next episode. Bye-bye or whatever.